back at Memorial Stadium in Bakersfield, California for the 37th annual Shrine Potato Bowl, the national championship game for junior college football. Mark Elmer along with Dale Hoy of the San Diego Chargers, and I suppose if you had to sum this ball game up in one simple sentence, it would be what a difference a quarter makes. When the game began in the first 15-minute period, the Hornets held the ball for 13 minutes and 13 seconds, leading to a 36-yard field goal by Kirk Hainline. The Bakersfield Renegades only holding it for 1 minute and 47 seconds, and even then, a fumbled punt return by Lindsey Collins. In the second quarter, however, Dale Hoy, it made a complete 180-degree turn. Bakersfield in the second quarter with the ball for 11 minutes, 47 seconds. They scored all 20 of their points in that period, and Fullerton dropped off to only 3 minutes and 13 seconds. Total offense in the game so far for Bakersfield, 223, for the Hornets, 90. Kickoff to get the second half underway. Tim Imperiali 2 yards deep in the end zone, and he will run it out. A block at the 22-yard line, and he's up to the 24. 28-yard kickoff return for Tim Imperiali to get things underway in the second half. And when you stop to think about it, if it wasn't for the special teams of the Hornets, with the field goal and a 95-yard kickoff return by Haydick, the Hornets would be in a lot of trouble. Now, Dale, what do you do?
Well, at this point, I think the major concern has got to be defensively. Well, there is some concern offensively. I think they have to get a little bit more creative. I think we're going to see some slight switches up, which I'll go into as we go along. I want to start out talking a little bit about the defense, but let's cover the offense right now.
I formation, Williams' second man is Jeff Andrews with the ball. Nearly breaks away and makes it up to the 31, maybe 32-yard line.
I think offensively right now it's going to be a battle of wills, really. I think that the things that Fullerton has done have worked well for them. I think they just have to sustain their blocks against bigger people and just execute, and that's going to be a battle of wills. However, on defense, I think what you're going to see Fullerton doing is stunning more, bringing more people into the gaps, trying to have more people at the point of attack than Bakersfield has blockers to handle them. So I think there's probably going to be a lot more aggressive, stunning type of defense on Fullerton's part in the second half.
Gain of 7, shifting around by the Hornets. They'll give it to Andrews again. He's close to the first down.
It'll be about a yard short, I think, Mark.
A lot of sophomores in the Bakersfield Renegades, a lot of freshmen with the Fullerton Hornets. And other than their opening game of the year against College of the Desert and what almost was a shocker against the Grossmont Griffins, the Hornets have really not played catch-up football all season long, down by 10 at half, and in some ways, frankly, they're lucky they're down only by 20 or by 10 out of the 20-10 score.
Well, that's true, Mark, and I can assure you that College of the Desert and Grossmont, neither team was nearly as physical or talented as this Bakersfield ball club is this evening.
Andrews got two on the last play. It'll be 3rd and 1, and already Victor Williams has seen some changes made since halftime by the Renegades, and he'll have to use a timeout and come over and talk to head coach Hal Scherbick, who is the gentleman you see there with a headset on and hands on his hips, and he is not necessarily a happy man.
No, he's got the bowed-necked stare there. It tells you right off the bat he does not like having used his timeout this early in the second half. He's going to need these timeouts as the game wears on.
Halftime statistics look like this. There you see them. Total yards, 223 to 90 passing yards in the favor of the Renegades, although Stan Green did not have a great first half, 9 of 20. Rushing yards, a lot of that due to their big running back, Reggie Yarborough. And the penalties is the other key one. Of the 12 penalties against the Hornets, 9 of them for 50 yards occurred in the second quarter. The 2 penalties you see there for the Renegades occurred in the first quarter. They did nothing wrong, according to the rule book, in the second quarter at all, except score 20 points.
Well, they're definitely playing their game right now. Their running and passing percentages are right where they like them, about 60-40 in favor of the run, and they're just winning the game in the trenches between the tackles.
They need a yard, I formation. They're going to send a safety, that is the Renegades are.
Now that ball's whistled dead. That ball's whistled dead, so it has to be an offensive penalty. Now Victor has got to get his head up, okay? And now it's easy when you're down to start jumping people, but Victor's got to get his head up, see that blitz being timed, and hold off on his snap count until that guy's across the line of scrimmage. Of course, in this instance, it didn't matter because they'd taken too much time anyway. But in the future, when he sees that blitzing linebacker start to come up in there, he's got to hold a count and try to catch that guy offsides.
It'll be a 5-yard penalty for procedure against the Hornets. Moves it back to their 28-yard line, 3rd and actually 6. Early in the 3rd period, and the Hornets going right into the sun and right into the heart of the Renegades defense. Williams looking for a receiver. He's got one in Matt Waddell, his flanker, who brings the ball all the way out to the 41-yard line.
Yeah, the key there, Mark, was that Bakersfield only rushed three down linemen at that time and tried to cover with everyone else. And you give Victor that kind of time, and somebody's eventually going to get open.
Here's a look at a very large crowd here at Memorial Stadium in Bakersfield. This is the home field for the Renegades, as it says there on the press box. And they are, of course, host to the Potato Bowl via the Shriners Club here in Bakersfield. So, as you can expect, most of the fans on hand are not from Orange County. Andrews with the ball, carries it straight ahead, and Everett Lampkins, an inside linebacker for the Renegades, makes the stop, and I believe we have another flag, and this one's going to be holding against the Hornets.
I don't want to call any names out because I'm not real sure who it was. I just won't say.
All season long, when we would prepare for our Hornet games, I kept underlining the penalty total for the Hornets, and I only wondered if the dime was going to come when that was going to blow up in their face. They now have 14 penalties for 83 yards. We have 12:56 left in the 3rd quarter.
More importantly, as we stressed earlier, some of those penalties have come at ill-timed. Kept drives alive.
In this game in particular, that's the problem. They've gotten them, and they've gotten them at exactly the wrong time. From the 31, Victor Williams will keep it on a quarterback draw, and I'm not necessarily sure that that was by design, but Williams gets out of there with his life.
No, it was, because he dropped back and patted the ball, showing that he was going to pass, emphasized that he was going to pass so that he could get an outside charge by the defensive lineman that he could work up inside of. I don't know that, that's not a wrinkle that we've seen Hal Scherbeck use a whole lot this year, so it may be an indication that they're really struggling to find something that's going to work right now.
2nd and 11 from the 39-yard line. Showing a blitz by the Renegades. They're on their way. Williams quickly over the middle to Polaris, and it's incomplete.
Got to get 2 hands up, Ray.
Ball looked to be a little bit behind Polaris as well.
Yeah, it was high and behind him.
3rd and 11 now from the Hornet 39-yard line. They need to get to the 49 of the Renegades. And Dale Hoy, you were mentioning right in the beginning of the telecast that the sun could become a factor, and you better believe it is right now. It's high over the western sideline to the left of your screen at home, and by the 4th quarter, that could really become something for...
Well, right now it's going to affect Bakersfield's receivers looking back into it, or Fullerton's punt return people.
Tim Imperiale brings it down, and the pass is complete.
Once again, they didn't blitz Victor. They gave him time to throw the football. And as always, he's very accurate when he's got that kind of time. Tim did a good job working up the sidelines and getting himself free. Actually, he was pretty well covered, but the ball was so nicely thrown that he was able to come up with the ball.
31-yard pass completion to Tim Imperiale. 1st and 10 for the Hornets on the Renegades 30-yard line. Dale?
See now, there's the 3 down linemen just rushing. He's got plenty of time. Just sets that ball right in the zone in between the safety and corner. Safety couldn't get over there in time.
Imperiale out of Sunny Hills High School has blazing speed, and I would imagine you'll see the Hornets go to the air much more in this game.
Here's an audible.
Polaris back into an I formation.
You should have another penalty, and they didn't call it this time.
Williams trying to get away. He's got an open man. It's complete.
To Wiley. Shane Wiley. Nice catch. You know what? Fullerton dodged a bullet there. Joe Hayes started to pull out just a hair early. He moved. He flinched. And they decided not to call it this time. It was obvious from up here in the booth, so I'm sure some of the officials saw it as well, but they didn't feel that he moved too soon.
22-yard gain by Wiley, and to be perfectly honest, we could hear the Hornet assistants at the other end of the press box hollering, I don't think that's the play they called, even though it worked. first and goal from the 8.
Well, I'll tell you, Victor gets lucky there because he slips and falls down and his knee didn't touch. I thought his knee was close to being down as well.
I formation. Clipper Hackett moves up to tight end. Pitch the ball, go left
Good
side.
blocking.
Jeff Andrews, he's to the 5.
Well,
Taken out of bounds by Lampkins. Gain of 3 yards on the play.
Second and goal for the Hornets.
Brian Wood's got to hold that block on Everett Lampkins. Everett's been a real active guy all day. If Brian holds that block on Everett Lampkins there, the backer, we've got a bigger play. Might have been down in the end zone.
Hackett and Haydick come out of the ball game. Imperiali in at the 1 wide out to the bottom of the screen. Give the ball to Polaris. Touchdown. Touchdown Hornets.
That's why this team's #1 in the nation, Mark, because they respond to situations like this. That was a fine drive. Offensive line reestablished itself. Victor and the receivers made the plays when they were necessary. That was a real nice drive. That's the way to reassert yourself early going into the second half. Actually, you know, offensively, we haven't had as many questions as we have defensively.
Kirk Hainline on to attempt a conversion following the 5-yard run by Ray Polaris. Hainline is good. And with 10:41 remaining in the third period, it's back to a 20-17 ball game.
Well, I think when we see the replay, you'll see that everyone went with Andrews on the motion, and that's something, if you've watched much film of Fullerton, you know that Ray Polaris is the touchdown guy.
It was a 9-play, 76-yard, 4-minute and 12-second drive by the Hornets, culminating in the run by Ray Polaris, and he is the touchdown man. He's also been the key guy for the swing pass or whatever out in the flat throughout the season when they needed key yardage.
I'll tell you, today he's earned his keep as a blocker as well. He's done a heck of a job blocking today. We take a look at it now. There'll be the fake off to the right and a counter back action to Polaris, and everybody went with the initial movement. That was a real nice call.
Well, at the end of the first half, it looked like the party might be over for the Hornets. But one thing about these young men, they have tremendous cohesion among themselves. It's one of those teams, much like you may have heard about USC throughout the year. The players like one another, and the coaching staff really enjoys them. Kickoff right in the face of one of the up men for the Renegades. Man who got the ball is Neil Nelson, a 6'2" tight end, and I don't think Neil planned on it because suddenly it was in his wallet and he didn't know that it was going to be there. He took the ball from the 30, got up a little bit farther, and there's a flag on the play. Let's go to Gary Hilbert while we get the officials.
Mark and Dale, as we start here the second half of the ball game, the inspiration down on the field, as Jeff Jesperson told me, is keyed on the defense. Once the defense gets down and gets placed their ball game, then it takes a little bit of the pressure off of the offense, which of course the offense did a great job scoring the touchdown, but first we got to see how well the defense will play now against the Renegade offense to set the tone for the rest of the way for the Fullerton Hornet offense. Back up to you guys.
We have a clipping penalty called against Bakersfield on the kickoff return. 1st and 20 from their 22. Quick pass to Lindsey Collins, and he almost, correction, not Lindsey Collins, but their flanker, Barry Blackman with the reception.
I think that was Dorian Estes that came up. He came up good and aggressive that time. I like that. I mean, he missed the tackle, but he came up strong. He didn't, take his time about it. He got up there in a hurry and tried to force the play to happen. That's a lot more aggressive look than I saw in the first half.
From the 22 to the 38-yard line, so it'll be a gain of 16 yards by Blackman. 2nd and 4. Well, they're going to give him more than that, so it'll be 1st and 10 marked from the 38-yard line. Oh, and that's Blackman again.
Well, I'll tell you what, that was almost picked off by James Rollins. James could have almost taken that the other way. He just did miss that football.
Well, Blackman with back-to-back receptions.
Take a look at it again. You'll see Rollins comes into your picture from right to left. You'll see him. He steps right in front of him and just misses making that catch. This is much more aggressive secondary play than I saw in the entire first half, and it's bound to pay off as time goes by.
Blackman took that reception from the 38 to the 47. A gain of 15 for the Renegades on that one. This time it's Yarborough with the ball, and I think he lost the handle.
No, he's got the ball. What he did was lose his ground, though. It's one of the few times they've really stuffed him in there since the early part of the game. Bakersfield's done a great job, though, of controlling the tempo of the game offensively.
So Yarborough moves it from the 47-yard line to the 45. He got 2.
Come on.
Green looking long downfield to Lindsey Collins.
I get a little excited there. I see Wes Flowers starting to come in hard from the outside, and then he lets up just a little bit. Got to keep coming hard. You don't get too many shots at quarterback, but I think he did have an effect on Green. In that Green once again didn't set his feet well. If I have a complaint with Green thus far, it's that he doesn't set his feet to throw consistently.
To be quite honest, to be in the interest of fairly covering this, he really does look somewhat flustered at times, which you would be somewhat surprised to see, even though Fullerton's probably the stiffest competition he's come up against. He's had an outstanding season. Now, there's a quick little slanting pass to Collins that will not work, and it'll bring up 4th and 8 from the Hornets 45.
Well, now that's the first defensive stand I think I've seen now in a quarter.
Well, the momentum made a complete 180-degree shift from the first quarter to the second.
I think you'll see Bakersfield come out on the next series and try to reestablish that ground game, the power game.
Jason Pendleton back to kick for the Renegades. Imperiali stands at his 10.
Let's see if this sun affects him now. You're supposed to let that ball go inside the 10, Tim.
He'll take it from the 7 and wish he hadn't.
Well, at least he got it back to the 10, which is where you're supposed to, you stand on that 10-yard line. Anything goes over your head, you let it go.
38-yard punt, 3-yard return.
That's in most instances, not every time.
Not every time, but you begin to wonder on that one. I don't think they would have necessarily been able to down it, but that's something that the Hornets did not really need to do at that point.
Yeah, it's a hard call to make down there. You don't know. If the ball looks like it's going to die inside the 10, then you might want to pick it up and handle it.
Ball given on the 1st and 10 play to Andrews.
Yeah, good blocking in there by Joe Hayes. Brian Woods again. Brad Heidelberg, that right side. They collapsed the Bakersfield line. Were able to turn up in there and bang some heads for some yardage.
A lot of folks down there, and they're pretty big when you get right down to it.
Yep. They're even big from up here. We got Clippers Hackett in at the fullback now. I suspect, yeah, there he goes into motion now.
2nd and 6. Williams looking down the field. He's got his man. Reception made by tight end Shane Wiley.
And that was a play that worked successfully for them in the first half because they're able to roll Victor out to his right side, which is his best side, and he's able to work to his right side and throw the ball. He's got some time away from the rush.
The discussion goes on defensively. That could become the real major point of the second half. The ball now is up to the 22-yard line.
Got the job done that time.
A gain of 8 yards by Wiley on the pass. 1st and 10 for the Hornets from their own 22. Double wideouts to the bottom of the screen, I formation. Here comes a safety blitz by the Renegades, and Andrews takes advantage of it, moves it from the 22 out to the 28.
Yeah, Jeff's just doing a real nice job sliding down the line. That time the left side of the offensive line. Vince Gillez, Charlie Urich, and again Brian Woods at the center. They just did a good job, and he's picking his hole and sliding up into it. He's a great guy at picking that hole and cutting up field.
Even though Reggie Yarborough is the #1 scorer in the state, Jeff Andrews was number 3 in yardage behind Blaze Bryant of Golden West and Leonard Russell of Mount Sac.
Bring good company.
Straight up the middle again on the 2nd down play from the 28-yard line. I believe that was Andrews again.
Yes, it was.
And he gets up off the pile, none the worse for wear. Got 4 on that one. They're going to say over the public address system that he gained 4, but he actually gained 3. So it'll be 3rd and 1 from the Hornets' 31.5-yard line. Imperiale wide out to the far side. Haydick here, I formation, strong set. More blitzes being shown by the Renegades.
I'll tell you, that was an offsides by the Renegades that didn't get called either.
Fake to Andrews. Williams launches it downfield, and that was a bad pass.
Actually, I don't know. I think Williams is down. Yes, he's down. His knee touched before he threw the football.
Well, if you live in Orange County, this may be a play where you say God is a hornet, because
one of the few times you've seen Victor, make a mistake like that, Mark.
He had it. Well, this is a mistake that I think he's real glad to have made. That was not a pass to throw.
Right. Take it back now. I believe the linebacker on the left-hand side.
Watch Everett Lampkins. He's going to blitz right there in your screen.
He's offsides before the ball is ever snapped, and it wasn't called.
That was not called, but that rushed Victor, and
that's right.
Set up what would have been a pass interception by the other linebacker, Michael Thomas. Waddell gets the punt away from the 29.
I'll tell you, that punt hurts.
And again,
that punt hurts.
A 21-yard punt by the Hornets. That's their two major weaknesses this year. A bad punting average. It was 32.5 for the season by the whole team. And the penalties that we've talked about, and both of them have jumped up and bitten them today. Nearly 100 yards in penalties, and we're still in the third quarter, and now a 21-yard punt. You just can't do stuff like that.
You've got to have a better punt than that, Mark. You're right.
The Renegades, 1st and 10 from the 50.
There's a better job now. They're completing that ball, but the corners are hitting them just about the time they catch it.
Bobby Blackman with the reception, gain of a little over 5 yards.
Bakersfield coaching staff at halftime went up and said, Coach, we're up in the box and we can see we can throw that little quick stop pass or little quick post all day long.
Green fakes a short pass. He's under pressure. Sack number 2 of the day by the Hornets.
See, now he gets back. He looks to throw the short ball. Now, if he intended to throw the short ball, he's got to know where he's going to go with that short pass before the ball's ever snapped. He's got to look at the coverage and say, based on what I see right now, I'm probably going to go to one side or the other. And then if it isn't there, then he's got to get back deeper and deal with something else.
Here's an example of the sunshine that the Hornets defense is dealing with. And it's got to be tough for linebackers and deep people. If there is any good to this situation in the fourth quarter, the sun is going to be in the Renegades' eyes.
Of course, I guess the one advantage in having the short drop is that when you get sacked, you only lose 3 yards.
3rd and 8 from the 48.
Too much time.
And now it'll be 3rd more than that.
Dead ball foul. Procedure penalty against Bakersfield.
Procedure call, and that's the first penalty of the second half, I believe, against Bakersfield. Their second of the second half. Remember, they were error-free in that regard in the entire second quarter, where, at least as far as the penalty flag's concerned, it became a horror story for the Hornets in that second quarter. Now it's 3rd and 13. They're back in their own territory from the Bakersfield 47. Green with a belly fake, rolling right. He's got an open man. Tight end Lionel Sykes. All the way down to the Hornets' 30-yard line.
That's a defensive breakdown by Wes Flowers. Wes got sucked inside and let the quarterback get outside. I'm sure his job is to make sure he gets an outside rush and stays outside of the quarterback so the quarterback can't get around him, beat contain, and be able to look upfield.
There you see Victor Williams, and he's in touch with the press box trying to figure out what they'll do the next time the Hornets get the ball.
Can't have those kind of defensive breakdowns. That's an important one. You don't want the quarterback breaking contain.
23-yard gain by Sykes. He's in motion now. They're going to give it to Gino Valpredo, who was a factor in the first half on a delay.
I'll tell you, going back to that point, the quarterback has not been real successful today dropping back and throwing the football all that much. But, when he's rolled out, he's had time to find his tight end dragging across the middle. Pretty often as much as he's wanted to. You can't let him outside of contain.
And the other thing is, even if he's not had great success, he's kept the running game honest. We'll be back with more after this.
Would you like to learn something new? Perhaps take some classes. Adult education offers more than 1,000 different courses. Oh, like aerobics, computers, hair design, crochet, doll making, nursing skills, archaeology, first aid, automotive repair, foreign languages, income tax. Adult education invites you to sign up for these and other courses, although not all at the same time.
Gain of 7 on that last play by Valpredo. This time it'll be Maceo Barbosa on a 2nd and 3 play. Barbosa from the 23 down to nearly the 17-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Renegades. They will spot it at the 17. Gain of 6 by Barbosa. And it's another long, sustained drive now for the Renegades, who did nothing in the first quarter and practically owned the place in the second quarter when they had the ball in the second quarter alone for 11 minutes and 47 seconds. 3:35 remaining in the third quarter. Split backs, man in motion. That's Sykes. Green, a little bit of a delay play. Maceo Barbosa working his way down inside the 10 to nearly the 7-yard line.
Well, the interior people on the defense that time just got sucked up inside, and no one was able to wrap up on him. And as a result, Barbosa was able to bounce back outside and pick up good yardage.
It should be enough for a first down, 1st and goal. Here's the penalty story. In this season, the Hornets 98 for 900 yards. Opponents only 640 for the season. If you're wondering, the Renegades were penalized for around 700 yards for the year, almost 200 less than, I should say Bakersfield was penalized 200 yards less than Fullerton. With the ball, Carl Price.
Yes, sir, and he got hit. I think that was Craig Glatzhofer. It was. Craig came up. They brought a linebacker that time. They were playing some man coverage. It freed Craig right up, came right up in there, and really laid the wood to the running back that time.
Line of scrimmage had been the 7-yard line. They're down to almost the 3. So for that time for Price, 2nd and goal from the Hornets' 4-yard line.
Of course, you don't want your free safety making tackles.
Full house backfield. Give it to Yarbrough. Bounces off one man and is stuffed back at the 7-yard line, but they're going to give him forward progress to, I think, the line of scrimmage.
Okay, on the play, 3rd and goal from the 4.
Now this is a place for the call that you made earlier, Mark. You spread the defense out, bring in some wide receivers, and spread the defense way out, and then run a quick little draw.
And like you said before, this is where the sun could really become a factor. Those shadows are getting real long.
Big play, Mark. Big play right here. Good job.
Stan Green completed a pass to himself on a deflection at the line of scrimmage by the Hornets and was...
Yeah, it's legal.
It's a legal pass if you're wondering.
In case you're wondering. That's right. I know you're sitting there looking at it saying to yourself, can he do that? But yes, he can.
Now you get into a situation where you bring on the place kicker. Pendleton will attempt a 28-yard field goal. This would give the Renegades a 6-point lead. That missed extra point could become very important. Pendleton up with the field goal attempt, and it's good.
Now, Fullerton dodged a bullet on that one. I think they should be happy to come away with only 3 there, considering I have to be blunt, I should say, and say atrocious punt. That punt hurt.
A 21-yard punt by the Hornets.
Good goal line stand, bend but don't break.
Set up that entire situation.
Hamilton will kick off to the Renegades. Imperiale and Hayden each receive.
Now we need another touchdown here.
It's a 10-play, 50-yard, 4-minute and 20-second drive by the Renegades. Bakersfield on top, 23-17 over the Hornets. There's already been a 95-yard kickoff return in the first half by Nick John Haydick, and they could use another one now. Haydick driven back in the end zone, no return.
Well, that's one way to simplify your kicking problems, huh?
Absolutely.
Just don't let them return it.
The sun, and it looks like as the game continues to grind on, that the crowd is becoming more and more involved in it. And you would have to expect that, and you could certainly understand it. If the Renegades could knock off the Hornets, they'd be well advised to stake claim to the national championship. There's the sun setting in the west, and is it setting on the fortunes of the Hornets? We'll have to wait and find out. 1st and 10 from the 20. Haydick in motion. Give it up the middle to Polaris. He breaks away. He's got some blockers.
Nice effort. That's just individual effort. Once he got past the line of scrimmage, he refused to go down, kept his balance, kept his leg drive, worked his way upfield. That's why he was, at one time, the all-time leading high school rusher.
16-yard
Southern
gain.
California. Excuse me, Mark.
Sorry, Dale. 16-yard gain. That's only Polaris' second carry of the ball game, and it's 1st and 10 for the Hornets from their own 36. Andrews out, double wideouts to the bottom of the screen. One of them is Imperiale, and I believe the other fella is
Mike Thomas.
Mike Thomas. Williams is looking at Thomas and throws it right into the hands of Matt Love, the Renegade strong safety, who drops it at the 45. That is the second time that the gods have smiled on Williams. He stepped out of bounds on what would have been a pass interception, and that time the guy without the sun in his eyes dropped the ball anyway.
I don't quite know what happened there. There's nobody around. I know Haydick was deeper than the 3 defensive backs you saw in your picture there, but I don't know. I guess he just
Tell you, if the
misjudged it.
The Hornets can come back on this one, Victor Williams better spend the weekend on his knees giving thanks, because there's 2 prayers that got answered right there.
He better hurry up or he's going to run out of time.
Showing blitz, nearly offsides. The Renegades send 2 linebackers, and it works.
I'll tell you what, they were offsides again, and they didn't call it.
Didn't call it.
That was offsides as clear as the day is long. They did not call it again.
Got a report from Gary Hilbert. Let's go downstairs.
I just got done talking to Victor Williams just before he went out to the field to handle the offense for Fullerton. He was on the headsets earlier talking to the coaches upstairs, and they were simply telling him to just relax and to not to push the issue. Hold back just a little bit. Look for that extra guy open over the middle. Back up to you guys.
No gain on that last play by Andrews. 3rd and 10. In motion for the Hornets is Wiley. Williams looking downfield. It should be complete, and it should be to John Haydick. Nick John Haydick, that is.
First down. You know, Victor's feet look a little bit, little antsy himself right at the moment.
Well, we expected a big crowd, and we got it. Attendance 18,237.
And there are not too many of them happy with that last play. They thought that that Nick John trapped the ball, but it was clearly a catch.
You know, Fresno State is known as the Big Red, but if you follow junior college football at all, the same thing is true here in Bakersfield. This place is filled with the Crimson. That'll conclude the third period of play. The Hornets have 15 minutes and 6 points to go to get this thing back the way they'd like it. There's the tail at the end of 3 quarters.
Actually, Mark, I think they'd settle for 7.
When it resumes, Haydick will have moved the ball from what was the 36-yard line up to the Hornets' 47. So it was an 11-yard gain for Haydick, and it'll be 1st and 10 for the Hornets from there. Mark Elmer, along with Dale Hoy, statistician Joe Ardent, and our entire Fullerton College Media Services sports crew, happy that you could be with us for the 37th annual edition of the Shrine Potato Bowl. Proceeds going to charity up here in the Kern County area. It's the 4th Potato Bowl appearance by the Hornets. They've won the 3 up till now, but they've got some work to do in their 4th appearance. Williams looking downfield. His receiver is tied up in Imperiale. No interference, just great defense by Eddie Thomas of Bakersfield.
Yeah. Tim's got to always force that play up and outside. You know, he's got to work to the sidelines on that play. I mean, he can't come back inside because Victor's going to get back and throw it at the sidelines. There's not going to be anybody there at all except the defensive back. Fortunately, it worked out well for them that time because it was too much ground for the safety to cover to get over and pick the ball off.
2nd and 10 from the Hornets' 47-yard line. Haydick comes out for a moment. Correction, that's Polaris that comes out. Haydick's back in along with Imperiale. Split back, strong right. Blitz shown again, both inside linebackers by the Renegades. Here they come. Williams quickly over the middle to Shane Wiley.
Nice adjustment. Very nice adjustment. I'll tell you what, Fullerton offensively in the second half, and this is a tribute to Hal Scherbeck and his staff. To win football games, it's great to come in with a game plan. But the people who win football games consistently are people who make the adjustments that have to be made in the heat of the battle. And that's what I think the Fullerton offensive staff and defensive staff are doing right now, and that's why they've climbed back into this ball game.
Ball had been on the 47-yard line. It makes it all the way to the 39 of Bakersfield. Gain of 14, 1st and 10. Give the ball to Jeff Andrews. Jeff Andrews meet Michael Thomas.
How do you do?
They have a term when you play football called stick 'em. Michael Thomas just did.
He stuck him.
1 yard on the play. 2nd and 11.
On paper, it won't look as bad as it did on the videotape. In the record book, it'll go down as only a loss of a yard, but I have a feeling Jeff's going to remember it a lot longer than that. 2nd and 11 from the Renegades' 40-yard line. Wideouts both ways. I formation. Haydick in motion from the bottom of the screen. Williams back to pass. Wants to screen, and he can't. Receivers covered. Now he'll dump it off to Goulet.
And he's got a man downfield, an illegal receiver downfield, 64.
That was
Had worked his way down there. I'm sorry.
Another little motion thing. They tried to make it look like they were going to go to the right. They wanted to swing back and screen to the left. They couldn't, and as a result, that ineligible man downfield for the Hornets.
Yeah, that'll be Brian Woods, who just drifted downfield, and he was about 10, 12 yards down the field when Victor finally threw the ball.
That play worked in the first half with Polaris, but the Renegades read it all the way this time.
Yeah, you know, the screen pass is one of the toughest passes to run in football because of the timing that's involved between everyone in it. And here you are running a double screen. You fake a screen one way, come back with it the other. That just, I don't need to say, that doubles the probabilities of the degree of difficulty.
Ineligible man downfield. They'll leave it at 2nd down. But now it'll be 2nd and 16 for the Hornets from the Renegade 45-yard line.
I'm going to try to get back about 10 or 11 of it right here if you can.
Time of possession in the Hornets' favor in the last period, and we got a turnover.
Tell you, I think Brian was still feeling the effects of that penalty on him. He snapped the ball. Victor wasn't underneath him. There must have been some miscommunication. I don't know if Brian said, hey, I'm going to, let's go on. I don't know if Victor said, let's go on a quick count, and he got up underneath the center. The center snapped the ball. Victor wasn't ready for it.
The third key statistic that we have been watching all season long is that when the Hornets fumble, they lose the ball 85% of the time. And there's an example of it. Recovered by the Renegades at 13:35.
Now, in the first half, Gary had some first half guests, some former Fullerton players who said that they felt that Fullerton was beating themselves, and I disagreed with them at that time. I think at this point, though, Fullerton is beating themselves at this point now.
Well, with all the penalties they had in that second quarter, just in the third quarter alone, it says here on the sheet we were just handed 14 penalties for 48 yards. I think they mean 84 yards. They got the numbers transposed. One number that won't be transposed is the stats for Bakersfield's Reggie Yarborough from the Renegades 45 to the Hornets 45.
And Reggie wearing number 45.
Well, they're going to say he only got 9, so it'll be the Hornets 46 officially.
Oh, well.
Yarborough already with 2 touchdowns in the ball game. Triple wideouts for the Renegades, split backs. Clock 13 minutes exactly left in the season. One of these teams is going to come out of here national champions, and that fumble a moment ago may really have done some serious damage to the Hornets. Carl Price with the carry, he got 5.
Fullerton needs a big defensive play here. They need a turnover. They've got to get an interception, a fumble. I think that Green has been throwing the football real tight on some of these corners, and I think this might be a great time for a pickoff. I mean, I know everybody knows that, but if he may go to the well one time too often here. There he goes.
If they've got 5 backs they can run with, though, why pass?
Well, you see that coverage right there. I don't know why. I agree with that at this point. They could really be running the clock down, but for whatever reason, as you could see there, Estes was right up on that play. And again, he may go to the well one time too often.
Well, it's an example of little ball. Last 2 plays, one by run, one by the air, both 5 yards.
Here we go right here. You take a look at it, just steps back and knows where he's going to throw the ball, forces it, and Estes is all over him. One of these times he's going to go to it. And
meanwhile, the clock continues to tick. Triple wideouts, split backs. Stan Green faces a potential rush by the Hornet linebackers, but gets the pass away, incomplete.
See, now they didn't let him break contain that time, Mark. You see that? They kept him hemmed in, and he wasn't the same quarterback. He wasn't able to buy any more time so that he could wait for someone to come across the middle from the backside. You know, of course, I've got to mention earlier, I said that one of the DBs is going to come flying up and make that play one of these times, intercept it going the other way. The other possibility, too, is that Bakersfield coaching staff is setting up that little stop and go, where they'll stop and pump fake to that receiver and then run straight up the field and drop the ball in his arms for a touchdown.
Well, we had a big play at the other end of the field a while ago when Green kept it on a 3rd and goal. Now another big down, 3rd and 5, 11:55. Green, quick slant and pass, intercepted by the Hornets.
There it is, Mark. He went to the well one time too often. What's he been throwing? He's been throwing the quick stop and the quick post, the little slant route.
Another major turnover. There's only been 3 in the whole ball game, but they've all been...
Yeah, but you know what that does for you? If you're on Fullerton's side of the ball, well, what it does for you is, well, here we take a look at it. He steps back, goes to the well one time too often. I said it, maybe too many times there, but what that does is it sets Fullerton's mind in the set that, hey, we've been winning this way all year long. Things have been good have been happening good for us like this, and now it's time for it to happen again.
Line of scrimmage, the 27-yard line, gain of 3 by Andrews on 1st down as they start their drive with 11:50 left in the clock and the season. There you see the man who made the interception, James Rollins, the left cornerback out of Servite High School. And he hopes that he will fare better in the postseason play than the Friars did in their high school playoffs.
Well, he's already fared better.
2nd and 7 from the Hornets' 30-yard line. I formation. The tight end is Shane Wiley, Haydick, and Imperiali in there. Give it to Andrews. Cannot get by the line of scrimmage, and if he had, he would have been off to the races. Andrews to the 32. 3rd and 5. This could be a big down right here.
Oh, yeah, they're all big right now.
There you see the turnovers. For the Hornets, it was the bad snap not too long ago. And for the Renegades, a fumbled punt return by Lindsey Collins and a pass interception a moment ago by Stan Green. 3rd and 5 from the Hornets' 32. Haydick in motion. They got to have it now. Williams to Haydick. He lost the ball on the reception.
Yeah, but Fullerton recovered it.
I said it before, and at the risk of repeating myself, if you live in Orange County, you've got to believe God is a Hornet right now. That is 3 of them that by all rights, in the interest of fair reporting, should have gone away from the Hornets. 2 pass interceptions, potentially against Williams the last
we go back and have a look at it here. He just takes a real clean shot, coughs up the ball right here on this hit, and Shane Wiley's able to get in there and dig it out. That's a championship effort.
That certainly is. That moves the ball up to the Hornets 48. So it's a gain of 16 rather spectacularly. 1st and 10.
There's the left guard moving.
That should be Charlie Urich. Urich started the year as the 2nd in line at that position, but of course was lost when Matt Nicolo broke his thumb in the Golden West ball game. That'll back him up 5 more. What else is new? The Hornets now get the total number of penalties for you. 16 for the ball game and 88 yards. I think it's actually maybe even a little bit higher than that, but we'll go with that. 1st and 15 now for the Hornets from their 43. Williams looking long. He's got an open man. You go to the short receiver, Haydick.
Oh, he had Tim Imperiale open for a touchdown down around the 20-yard line. Didn't see him.
Imperiale was in the next zip code, and nobody knew it.
Yep. Oh, that's a shame. Those are those plays that are lost. I think back to it a long time ago in the Super Bowl when the Jets beat the Colts and Earl Morrall was in the ball game, and if he'd just seen the one wide receiver open early deep down the field, he'd had a touchdown, and that game might have gone different than it did. Those are the kind of plays that make all the difference in the world. But that's all right. He still completed it for a 1st down.
Maybe more important than that, they've eaten up 2 full minutes. They got the 1st down, and they're driving.
That's right.
And they're 6 points down. 13-yard gain in the last play by Haydick. This is Andrews up the middle, and a good play that time by Jeff.
Close to 5 yards. Hard running.
Right
hard running.
Just short of the 35, so they will give him credit for 5-yard gain. And boy, if you got to have a player of the ball game for the Hornets, it's got to be Nick John Haydick. Between the 95-yard kickoff return, some key receptions.
I don't know, right around now, I think I'd be voting for Polaris as well.
It would be.
As much for blocking as he has been for anything else.
Ray has thrown some outstanding blocks. He'd probably get the coach's award, where the spectators would say it would be Haydick, because the films will indicate what Polaris did to make Haydick and others look good. Give the ball to Andrews. Through a hole, got 5 more, and he almost lost the ball himself. Down just short of the 30.
Yeah, it would be real nice if Jeff could crank off a couple real big runs here.
Officially, they're going to give him a gain of 4. 3rd and 1 from the Renegades 30-yard line. Actually, 31.
Now it gets interesting. The question becomes now, if they don't make it here, does Hainline come in and try to kick the ball?
27. I'm sorry, Dale.
That's
27 carries, 100 yards for Andrews. He averaged 142 during the regular season. And the nice thing about this game, with the number 1 and number 3 ranked teams in the country, it's turned out to be the kind of game that everybody thought it would be. There's been some mistakes, but they've been exciting mistakes.
Yes, indeed.
It's definitely been a dandy to watch, and you can hear the crowd in the background screaming defense, all 18,000 plus of them. They give it to Andrews. He's over the 30, got the 1st down.
It's going to depend on the mark here. It's going to depend on the mark. I'm not so sure he got it, Mark.
I'm going to stick my neck out and say he did, based on the foot of the head linesman. The referee, though, has stopped the clock at 8:07.
Use the old John Madden trick.
And they'll do the measurement. You could see Jeff Andrews gesturing there. I got it. Come on, let's quit fooling around here.
Well, there's referees in every corner.
By half the ball.
Right.
Hornets, 1st down at the Renegades 29.
Well, good call, Mark. I couldn't tell for sure, but I knew it was close. I'd rather be wrong than right on that one.
They went 10 games throughout the season in the Mission Conference. They have been number 1 ranked for the latter part of the season, and now they're 29 yards and 7 points away, and 7 minutes and 52 seconds from the dream possibly coming true. Williams looking for a receiver. He's got Imperiale, and Tim may have saved the ball game, and it could be offensive pass interference.
Yeah, it will be.
Imperiale knew he had no reception. He did not want the interception. And I tell you, that is one smart young football player.
Yeah, I
Tim
like that play.
Imperiale. And I would go ahead, and I don't think Hal Scherbeck will get on him for that. They're going to call it against the Renegades.
Well, that surprises me. Let's have a look at that one again.
Let's get a look at that one. I think that is a bad call because the Hornets, Imperiale made a brilliant play.
We can't see much there. Maybe we can look at it one more time from the beginning.
They're going to call it on Eddie Thomas, but it looked to me,
I thought Tim
pushed
him in the back and went over his back.
Imperiale went over him to prevent the interception.
And if he had, if he'd been called, I still would have stood my ground and said I think he made a great play because he kept that safety from having a clean shot at intercepting the ball.
1st and 10 from the Renegades' 14-yard line. Andrews got maybe a yard. I started to say, Dale, a moment ago, I didn't think Hal Scherbeck would yell at Tim Imperiale for that because it would be better to take the penalty than allow the interception. But here, let's take another look.
It may be hard to see here. Yeah, it's real hard from that angle to see what took place, but we knew that Tim kind of went up over the back, and I thought maybe he pushed the defensive back a little bit in the lower back.
Now, when you do look at it the third time, though, both of them were playing the ball, but it's a matter of opinion.
Well, I didn't see any defensive interference there.
No, none whatsoever. 2nd and 10 from the 14. Williams wants to throw. He's hemmed in. Give it to Wiley, and I think he stepped out of bounds before he caught the ball.
Yes, he was.
The catch was legal, but he'd already stepped on the chalk before the play.
That's right. So they'll lose yardage on it, won't they? Yeah. Yep. They lose yardage on the play because he was an illegal receiver. If we go down and take a look at it now, we'd probably be able to see. I don't know if we'll be able to see, but watch him right when he catches it, he hops back in. I don't know, you couldn't see that there.
That makes him an ineligible receiver.
That's correct.
Now an interesting down. 3rd and 15 from the 19-yard line. My, oh my, they build it at the national championship game, and it's been that. Michael Williams almost took Victor Williams' helmet off. The pass is completed to Shane Wiley. The ball is at the 13, and now what do you do?
Well, what we're going to do is when we look at this play again, I want you to take a look at how much help Victor got. He makes a great move to escape. Now watch people come back and help him with blocks. Here he escapes. Now he's running through. 93 gets picked off. 75 has held up long enough for Victor to make a move and throw the ball. Got a lot of help. People down there are giving a championship effort right now. I'm real impressed. This is a real strong championship effort on both sides.
A gain of 6 on the play. That'll make it 4th and 9 from the Renegades' 13-yard line. The Hornets called timeout. They're trying to figure out what to do. You figure out at home. A field goal won't do it. You've got 6:18 left. You need at least 2 of them. You figure you probably will get another possession. And there is the coaching staff of the Hornets trying to figure out what they're doing. I would tend to think
kick the field goal.
Yep.
That's just my opinion, you know. And now it's possible that Scherbeck has something under.
The other thing you have to wonder about now, if you really want to get interesting, is what happens if they tie. The Hornets are 10-0. They're ranked number 1. Number 2 is Glendale, Arizona. Now, they played one less game. And then you'd have to say in the Bakersfield argument, we're undefeated. We tied the number 1 team. That's when you just get out of the way and let them fight.
Yeah.
You could bet your bottom dollar the Hornets wouldn't be number 1 anymore. But would you give it to Glendale, Arizona, or would you give it to the Renegades? On one poll, Glendale, Arizona already has it. But like Bakersfield, they didn't play the people that Fullerton played. I would have to probably give it the nod to Bakersfield.
Play of the game, Mark.
4th and 9. They're going for it.
got a first down, Mark.
Nick John Haydick, 1st and goal Hornets at the 3. Now, who's your player of the game?
Tell you, he got just enough yardage for that. That's good coaching. He knew just what he needed. He got down the field. He got it. He didn't come back too far to the ball to take himself out of first down range.
Here he comes off the field, Nick John Haydick, and he'll get a welcome from the Hornets.
Gets back, sits in. So they needed the pass protection, and they got the pass protection. Championship effort.
If you're a national champion, you got to win under pressure.
That's right.
Give the ball to Andrews. He's to the 2.
He may be to the 1, Mark. I'm impressed. That's very impressive on Coach Scherbeck's part to go ahead and make that call.
You know, last August I had an opportunity during a scrimmage against Long Beach City College to walk up and down the sidelines and meet Nick John Haydick. His brother was there, who I think is in high school getting ready to come to college, and I said, which one's the better one? And he said, I am. 2nd and goal from the 1.
Still got to put it in.
Jeff Andrews a little bit closer.
Actually, that was Ray Pilaris.
Forgive me if I couldn't tell under the pile and high atop the Memorial Stadium.
Well, now what they need to do is, if you recall, when they went with that crossbuck action and they faked the ball to Andrews going to his right and came back to Ray Pilaris back to the left, I think this would be a great time for that call.
4:52. There's Victor for the day. 15 to 25, 190. 3rd and goal from the 1. Give it to Andrews. Touchdown, Hornets.
Tremendous drive. Tremendous drive. That's why this is the #1 team in the nation right now.
And that's why that fella right there is the #3 rusher. And 2nd team, JC All-American, Jeff Andrews with the 1-yard touchdown run.
I'll tell you, Mark, this has not been a disappointing game.
Hainline for the most important point of his career, and it's good. 4:41 remaining in the ball game. The #1 ranked Fullerton College Hornets by 1 point over the Bakersfield Renegades, 24 to 23. And if I were you, I wouldn't walk away from the TV set just yet.
Didn't the JC Gridwire predict this would be 21-20?
You know, they have said that junior college sports is kind of the black hole of collegiate competition. This may be the best kept secret in college athletics. But there's 18,323 people in Bakersfield, and those of you in Orange County at TV at home that are beginning to get an idea of what it's all about. The drive started at 11:50 of the 4th quarter.
Well, it's interesting that it should come down now to the defense.
A 7-minute. There he is. Nick John Haydick. No, I'm sorry, Victor Williams and Jeff Andrews.
Haven't won it yet, guys. Hang in there. We've still got to see this defense stop the Bakersfield offense.
A 14-play, 73-yard, 7-minute, and 9-second drive.
Every play important here, Mark. All Bakersfield needs, obviously, is a field goal.
They're even on their feet in the press box. The kickoff. At the 10, it gets away from the return man, Eddie Thomas. Thomas from the 10 to the 30, and nearly a face mask penalty there. Now keep in mind, when it comes to the special teams for Bakersfield, that their place kicker is #2 in the state behind Kirk Hainline, Jason Pendleton. I'm trying to find out if we can get it on here of what's his longest field goal of the season by Pendleton. 1st and 10, 4:30 remaining. Give the ball straight up the middle.
You're not going to line up like that and play these guys. They're too big and strong. We lined up with 4 people there. They had Flowers up as a linebacker. They had 3 down linemen. They've got to bring people in the gaps. They've got to bring a lot of people up on that front.
We're going to say this drive started about 4:35 remaining in the game. Frankly, To be quite honest with you, we didn't get the clock at that particular point. We ask your understanding on that in light of the circumstances.
Another Fullerton timeout.
9-yard gain on that play.
It could be painful later in the game. I hate to keep alluding to that, but it could be a problem.
Last play, Carl Price was the ball carrier. He's been an interesting... Let's go to Gary Hilbert first.
Well, Markendale down here on the sidelines. I believe Fullerton just taking their last time out of the ball game with just a little over 4 minutes to play. But I just got done talking to Mr. Williams, and our great quarterback simply said, well, I asked him, what was the key to the drive? And he said, Almighty God, as he pointed upstairs. So hopefully the Hornets will be able to hang on. But now the test is the Hornet defense. If they can hang tough, the Hornets just might come up on top of this ball game, national champions. And we'll keep you informed on that, of course, as the game wears on. Back up to you guys upstairs.
When's the last time you heard a junior college football crowd that loud?
Gary makes that point, though, about the defense, but, I'm convinced that Fullerton defensively cannot line up man for man with his offense. They're going to have to bring people and stunt people into all the gaps.
4:08 left in the season. 2nd and 1 from the 39 for the Renegades. Split back, strong left. Give it to Yarborough.
Kevin Capps. Now you see what happens there, Mark. Kevin Capps gets across the line hard, takes on the first blocker, destroys the play in the backfield, allows the rest of the defensive front to come in and knock the play out.
And if you're a Hornets fan, isn't it poetic justice? The 5'7", 180-pound, he's probably wearing lead in his pants, Kevin Capps comes across the line and hits Reggie Yarborough, who's as big as my car, and fouls up the play.
That's right. But that's aggressive. They're playing the game aggressively. He played it aggressively on offense to win it, and he's going to have to do the same on defense.
And wouldn't you know, the smallest linebacker is the only linebacker to really stop Yarborough all day long. 3rd and 3 from the Renegades 37. Give the ball to Carl Price, and he may have enough.
He may just barely have enough. Kevin Capps got it to his legs first. They're not blocking Kevin. He's out there wide, and he's coming down hard. He's got good, quick off-the-line burst. He's able to get into the plays.
They're going to take a little bit off the rush with the spot, and he didn't get there. This could be the whole tamale right here for the Renegades.
Well, you know what?
4th and a yard, 3 minutes left exactly.
You almost want to line 11 people up between the tackles there.
We'll just let the picture tell the story. This could be the national championship right here.
Gutsy call. Great call. That's a great call. I did not think it was the perfect time to make that call. I just didn't think that he would do it. I felt that he thought if he ran the ball, he could get the first down. That was a great call. We've got 2 teams and 2 coaching staffs knocking each other around out here.
A 34-yard pass play to tight end Lionel Sykes. And it ain't over yet.
No, and now Fullerton has got to hold them to a field goal, get the ball back. They cannot allow a first down here at all. And remember, we're without any timeouts, so Fullerton's going to have to be real creative in trying to get that field goal. Go back and look at it. This is just, everyone is up on the line to play the run. The great run fake pulls everybody up. The tight end gets behind the secondary man.
And John Christensen, who may be, along with Glatzoff, the 2 best guys in the secondary, is the man that got beaten. He was 5 yards away, so they really crossed up the Hornets' defense.
Well,
2 minutes.
I don't know, Mark. He's the tight end, and I think that the end man on the line of scrimmage is probably the cornerback's responsibility. So I could have very easily been, James Rollins on that play, who was covering on that side.
2:39 left in the season. Now, who is this flag going to be called on? Is it offsides or is it motion?
It's offside.
This could become important.
It's offsides because nobody on Bakersfield side, well, they're saying it's against Bakersfield.
I thought the left tackle, which would be
big penalty.
Myron Williams, flinched, and this could mean a lot when it comes to field goals.
That's right. Big penalty. Big penalty.
The line of scrimmage right there was the 26-yard line. Standard operating procedure is you add 17 yards. That gives you a 43-yard field goal before that penalty. Now, it all of a sudden becomes a 48-yard penalty, and that could become really important.
That's right.
1st and 15 from the Hornets' 31-yard line.
Timeout.
Now the timeout's called by the Renegades. They have something to think about. Oh my, was this been a football game?
Yes, it certainly has been, Mark.
And we are happy that we could bring it to you.
I'm happy I can just be here. This is a lot of fun.
Dale has had quite a day. In case you didn't know, he even went down and bought himself his very own Bakersfield Renegade hot dog at halftime.
No, I tried, but you wouldn't believe it. There was a line 50 people deep. I never did get anything.
You need to
They must have some great hot dogs.
The thing that is that you need to keep in mind that this is what it's like from, and has been for the last 20-plus years in Bakersfield for junior college football. This is not like you might see in other areas of the country where the student body and people that live right around the college only come out to the games. When you talk about the city of Bakersfield, this is their football team.
Listen, that's right, Mark, and you can tell that by the stadium setup they have. This is phenomenal for a community college football team to have this kind of a stadium. I'm real impressed with this.
The capacity is 19,500, we've been told. I believe the biggest crowd they ever had here was over 22,000. They must have had them hanging from the hillside.
But you can see over here on the closed end that they could always put more bleachers in. There's another section over there on the opposite side.
Keep playing like this, they might have need. 1st and 15 from the 31. 2:37 left to go. The number 1 quarterback in the state at the helm of the future for the Renegades. Right up the middle of Price.
Got about 4 that time.
Tackle by Venturelli.
Got to stay aggressive on defense. You've got to attack on their side of the line of scrimmage.
There's going to be a lot of unsung heroes in the game as you see the clock ticking down. But key guys today for the Renegades in the backfield. Carl Price got yardage for him when he needed to. Gino Valpredo got yardage. They have basically 5, if you will, starting running backs on that squad.
Well, you just have to credit that offensive line. They've done a real fine physical job.
2nd and 11 from the Hornets 27. Green rolling under pressure from Capps. Incomplete.
Kevin Capps.
Once again, the little linebacker with the big heart is in there.
That's right. Little Popeye. I like him.
Now we get ourselves into a very big down. This could tell the whole tale right here.
That's coaching there. That's coaching there, too. They figured out where Kevin could help him, and that's how they utilize him. They put him out there, and they just bring him hard.
We're talking 44-yard field goal right now if this 3rd down play were to be, say, an incomplete pass. Timeout again by the Renegades, and we'll find out if they have 1 timeout left. I think they have 1 left. Unofficially, by our count, that was the 2nd one they used. Minute 54 showing on the clock. The Renegades have 1 timeout left. It'll be 3rd and 11 from the Hornets' 27-yard line. It would be a 44-yard field goal. We've been trying to find out what the longest field goal of the season that Jason Pendleton might have turned in, but so far we haven't had any luck coming up with that number. But 46 yards was his longest this season. It would be 44 right now, so we're in the neighborhood.
It'd be 44 right now, but based on the scores that I saw, he never kicked one under the kind of pressure he'll be kicking one under tonight.
Absolutely not. And now you wonder about that 5-yard motion penalty.
That's right.
The Hornets, I believe, have 2 timeouts left. The Renegades have 1.
No, I don't believe Fullerton has any timeouts left. I believe that Fullerton has used all their timeouts. They used their first one within the first couple minutes of the second half.
Well, hold on to your hat. Here we go. 3rd and 11 from the 27.
Got him open. He can't be that open. That's
Lionel Sykes has done it again.
He just can't be that open.
From the 27-yard line, the ball is now spotted at the Hornets' 14-yard line. Gain of 13 for Sykes.
Well, now what really hurts Fullerton is they cannot stop the clock. Bakersfield can run this clock all the way down to 3 seconds, call a timeout, kick a field goal, and Fullerton won't be able to do a thing about it.
Bobby Blackman flanks out to the top of the screen, tells the crowd to get on its feet, and they are. 1st and 10 from the 14. Give it up the middle. The man with the ball, I believe, is Price. It is.
And that's where he's running. Dead center down the middle of the field. Set that field goal up. You can just look for them now to continue to run this clock down and run the ball right between the hash marks.
2nd and 6 from the Hornets' 10-yard line. And boy, if the Renegades can pull this off, this will be the biggest party in Kern County in years. Yarborough.
Got to strip the ball.
Reggie Yarborough to the, call it the 7.
Got to strip the football.
Clock coming up on 1 minute remaining. 3rd and 3 from the Hornets' 7-yard line.
He might try to slip a pass in here this time. He certainly hasn't been conservative in the crunch lately.
Give it to Price, to the 2.
That's a first down.
First and goal, Renegades. (43, 42, 41 seconds left in the season.
If there was ever a time for a big play.
Full house backfield, it's Price. Touchdown! Jason Pendleton to attempt the extra point. Fumbled snap. He still gets it up. It's good. The Bakersfield College Renegades are 26 seconds away from a victory in the 37th annual Shrine Potato Bowl, and they might be 26 seconds away, that is, from a national championship. But it's still not over.
That's right, it's not. As long as you've got Imperiale and Haydick back there, but of course, just straight ahead football there. Not a whole lot we can say. It's the kind of thing that Bakersfield's been doing all day. The big play in the drive, the passes to the tight end, especially the first pass on the 4th down and 1 yard to go.
11 plays, 69 yards, 4 minutes and 9 seconds.
Now he's not going to kick this football to Haydick.
26 seconds left. They call them the Renegades, and it sounds like a band of 18,000 of them as the kick is off. Haydick from the 12.
No hole.
Fumbled the ball.
He tried to pitch it. Tried to pitch the ball to Tim Imperiale. Even at the end, they still go down swinging.
Tony Amatia with the fumble recovery. 19 seconds left.
John, they can't run the reverse now, so he figures as soon as the first man gets to him, he's going to pitch the ball. Tim Imperiale, hope he can go up the field with it a little farther. Just wasn't there.
Amatia recovers. 1st and 10 for the Renegades. At the Hornets' 30-yard line, 19 seconds left. Green puts his knee down. The Hornets can't stop it. The clock counting down from 15, and as they say, one picture's worth 1,000 words. By all rights, the Bakersfield Renegades should be the national champions in junior college football for the 1988 season.
Outstanding performance by both clubs. Again, I alluded to earlier, the coaches as well as the players.
There at the center of the field, Hal Scherbeck congratulates Carl Bowser. 11 straight victories by the Hornets. The first loss in Scherbeck's career was at this stadium, and this may be one of his most painful. He thoroughly enjoyed this team.
You want to catch a poignant moment, look down at Hal Scherbeck right now on the 20-yard line, hugging his players. He knows they gave everything they had, just as he did. That is the value in sport. The camaraderie, the dependence on other people, the coming together for a common goal. That's the value of scholastic sport.
And I suppose if there's one thing that would probably help the Hornets swallow this, as you see Hal Scherbeck hug his players, most of these kids are freshmen.
We'll be back.
And they will have long memories of this one. And of course, they're under the tutelage of the winningest coach in junior college football history. There he is right there, Hal Scherbeck. And when you played in a game like this
was a fine game.
And you lost to a team like Bakersfield with the way they played after the second quarter got underway, you got nothing to be ashamed of. And the folks here in Kern County, the city of Bakersfield, and the Shriners Club who put this whole block party on have got a lot to be happy about. 18,327 fans on hand, a lot of money made for local charities, and I think they're going to be at the ice cream stand for most of the night here in Bakersfield.
Yeah, they probably will, long after the sidewalks are rolled up and put away. I think they won't have any problem drawing a big crowd next year.
Well, you know, Dale, you've been with the Fullerton College program in the past. This has been my first season with them, my first opportunity to get to know that gentleman right there. And we really want to extend our thanks to all of you for being with us throughout the 1988 season, and personally to all the folks back in the truck, our statistician Joe Arden. I've enjoyed my rookie season with you. We'll be back, I hope, in 1989, and we hope you will be too. For Dale Hoy, Gary Hilbert, and all of us at Fullerton College Media Services, this is Mark Elmer reminding you once again, the final score, the Bakersfield Renegades beat the Fullerton Hornets in the Shrine Potato Bowl for the national championship by a score of 30-24.